Well, hi, everybody. I'm so
Hi.
glad to see you. You must have seen the poster that was hanging up in the community center that said that we were thinking about starting a group and we wanted to see if there was any interest. And I'm the person who generally works with groups here at the center. I like working with groups, so I'm really excited about this. And I think it was gutsy for all of you to come. You don't know me or what's going to happen. So today, we're just going to talk a little, get acquainted a little bit, and talk about what kind of group we want this to be. This is your group. We said on the flyer that this is a group for moms who have little kids and rarely get a break, and it's pretty tiring and exhausting. So we thought maybe this is a service that we could offer. The kids are all next door in the childcare room. That's a bigger room, so we got kind of the smaller room, but it's big enough for us, I think. So any questions just as we begin?
I am so glad that you have this group.
Yeah.
I never have anyone to talk to.
Well,
no one.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys glad?
Well, you know, with the first group, folks are kind of unsure. It is neat to talk to people. I like that, and I'm glad that you do too. But we don't know each other, and so it takes a little while just to get acquainted and begin to feel comfortable. Some of you are probably even sort of deciding, do you want to be in this group or not?
Yeah.
But at least you had the guts to come the first time and try it out, right?
Now, you said this was a mom's group. I'm a grandma. I'm raising my grandkids. Is that okay that I come to this group?
Yes. Well, it's for people who are raising kids, and you're sure doing that, right?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to meet for an hour here in this room. And if we decide to continue, we'll continue meeting for an hour in this room. All right? So let's do some getting acquainted. You know, my name is Valerie Chang. You saw that on the flyer. Personally, I prefer first names. You can decide if you don't prefer first names. If you'd rather that I use your last name, you can let me know. But you're welcome to call me Valerie or even Val. A lot of people call me Val. So I want us to do a get acquainted exercise. This is it's pretty easy. I can see you look a little doubtful. I know you don't know each other. So there's two things you're going to do. First, you're going to make your own name tag. Okay? And we have some magic markers. And I've got one too. And then I want the three people over here to talk together, just find out first names so you can introduce one another, and something about what you hope to get out of this group. Maybe you're not sure, but if the group went well, what would you want to get? Okay? Does that sound all right to everybody?
I'm ready.
All right. Grab your colors. I guess I'm left with brown. Okay.
I haven't really seen you.
No. Anyway, it's nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You guys ready?
Yes.
You guys ready? Well, just to break the ice, I'll start. You know my name, Valerie. And what I hope to get out of this group is excitement and energy. You know, I really like being in groups, and it's fun for me, and I like seeing people blossom and learn new things in groups. So I'm expecting this will be fun. Who wants to go next?
I will. Christy. And I met Karen and Justine. And Karen wants to get out a lot because she has kids at home and she doesn't get out much. She's feeling really tired.
How many kids are you raising, Karen?
Four. A 2, 3, and twins at 5.
Oh, wow. That's a big job.
Yeah, I'm really glad it's the school year and they started kindergarten, so the 5-year-olds are at least gone a half day, which helps a little bit.
Yeah. That's a big job, and you've already raised kids once, right?
Yeah, probably not so well, though, or I wouldn't be raising the second set.
Do you want to say more about that? Okay. Now,
this is Justine, and she has twins too.
oh,
Yeah.
how about that?
Lots of fun.
And she says she's really tired too. What did you want out of this? I forget.
Oh, I just wanted to, make some friends maybe, so we can go out
that's
and we
right.
have kids, the same age, and have someone to hang out with, because all my friends don't have kids, so.
Okay. Which one of you guys wants to start?
Well, I guess I can. My name's Misha, and we saw the flyer, Gina and I did, and we thought it'd be kind of good to come to see what this was all about. And I have 2 boys. The oldest one is 10, and he's really helpful, but the younger one is 6, and he's he's just what you call old boy. Gets in trouble a lot. He doesn't really mind, and I'm just tired, and I'm frustrated, and I don't know what to do with these kids. My husband's gone a lot, and I try to work extra shifts at Gas America. So here I am, and I brought my friend Gina today.
Which one of you guys would like to be next?
Go ahead, Lynn.
Yeah. My name is Lynn. I'm here to see what I could learn more about doing in my community, I guess. I originally came from Belize. I'm just here to help out my aunt. She has 4 boys, so I came here probably about 6 years ago to help her out. But during that time, I kind of met a guy, and so I have a 5-year-old of my own.
Well, like Misha said, I'm Gina, and I really didn't want to come today. She dragged me here. I've got a 6-year-old son. Our sons are friends, and I have a 2-year-old daughter. Neither one of their fathers are around, and I work the night shift at the truck stop.
I'm glad that all of you are here. And Gina, I'm glad that you were willing to give it a try, and we realize you're kind of unsure, and whatever you decide will be okay with us. Anyhow, okay with me. All right, so everybody knows a little bit about everybody else, and we'll get better acquainted as you feel more comfortable talking and sharing. All right? Now, one of the things that is important with groups in the beginning is to decide on rules, just so we know kind of what to expect from each other. So some rules that some groups sometimes have, I'll just give you some ideas, and then we'll talk together about how we want it to be. Sometimes groups decide, well, we might, when we get acquainted, talk about some things that we wouldn't want anybody else to hear, that we would want to stay confidential in this room. I mean, if Justine decides to say something, she could tell whoever she wanted, but she might not want Gina to say something about her.
Yeah.
So that's a confidentiality rule, that what you hear in here stays in here, doesn't become sort of gossip on the in the neighborhood, because you guys all live in this neighborhood. Does that sound like a rule that people are comfortable with?
How do I know they're not going to talk about it? Because I want to talk, but I don't want them telling people what I say.
I guess you only know if you can trust them that they won't say anything.
I don't go around talking about other people's business. And I can tell you Gina doesn't do that either.
She doesn't even talk. So.
Well, she might talk more. It's, lots of times when you're chatting with friends like over coffee, then you might go to another friend and say what you heard. But this is a special kind of a thing where we really want to be supportive to each other, so then you got to be open to be able to say whatever you want to say. So it's an important decision whether you think that it'll be all right that whatever happens here just stays in this room.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's write down our rules. Somebody want to be the writer? I brought a clipboard. Okay, and once we got it all figured out, I'll make copies and bring them next week. So that rule we'll just call confidentiality. What is said in this room stays in this room. One of the things that I should let you know about as a professional in this agency, there are a couple of times when I would have to break confidentiality. And I want everything to be up front, so I want to tell you about those things. So if I heard that you were hurting somebody, that one of you were beating up your kids or hurting your kids in some serious way, I'm required by law to report that. If I heard that you were thinking about hurting anybody, I'm so mad I could just kill that person, we would talk about it, and if I really thought you might do it, I would be required to report that. Or, you guys all have stressful lives, and if I thought that you were going to kill yourself, seriously hurt yourself, I have to report that. So those are the times when I'm not, by law, allowed to maintain confidentiality. Any questions about that? Okay.
How would we know you're breaking that?
I would tell you.
Okay.
So if I heard something that I thought I might have to tell somebody, we would talk about it. And if I thought that it really was serious, I would say that, let's say somebody was beating up their child. I would say, I think you need more help than this group. Let's call the people at Child Protection. Maybe they can help you find other ways to discipline, and we might even call together. I wouldn't just sneak off and call. I would tell you. I don't think that's going to happen, but I need to let you know up front that that's how things go. Now, you know from the flyer that there isn't any cost for this group. This is a benefit of the agency. We're kind of trying this out as something that might be helpful in our community, so that you won't have any costs at all. Now, another rule that we might want to think about is whether people ought to call if they can't come. If they've told us that they are coming and then they can't come, should they call the agency and let us know? Does everybody have access to a phone? So what do you think about that?
Well, I guess that would be nice, so we know if they're coming or not. And if they're running late, we could, wait until they come here.
Yeah.
Does that seem all right to everybody else? Because I know, things may come up, your kids might be sick, you might have to work over, but rather than us sit and wonder, well, where's Karen? If you would call and let us know, I like having that rule.
Could I call and just talk to everybody on the phone if I can't come?
To talk about what?
You mean
talk
like on a
anything.
speakerphone or something?
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's possible. I'll have to see if the agency has something like that. Another thing that groups sometimes talk about is whether it's an open group, meaning that more people could come in, so maybe next week somebody else would decide to join us, or a closed group, meaning it's us and that's it. The plan was that I would work with you for 8 weeks, and at the end of 8 weeks, you can decide something different. But in this 8 weeks, would we want to let anybody else in?
You guys, the more people, the better. Well, I'm not feeling very comfortable right now.
Yeah.
It's more people
And if
to
it's
talk to.
confidentiality,
and if
you
you're not
never
coming back,
know
I'm
when
not
people come
so
in.
sure I'm going to.
Yeah.
Well, if more people are going to be allowed to come in, I'm not coming back.
Tell me a little bit more about your thoughts, Christy.
I just, the more people that can come, the better. The more people we have to talk to, and the more people I will know. And when I'm walking around the apartments, I might see somebody, and I'd be able to talk to them, and they could maybe stop by and see me sometime during the day when I'm there all alone. And it would be so much better.
Okay, so I I really hear that one of the things you want out of this group is more people to talk to and to know and to feel close to.
Yes.
And if the group was bigger, that might be easier for you. But everybody else feels more comfortable with the group just staying this size. Let me tell you what might be a benefit to you if the group
Do you have
staying
a
this
friendly
size.
group here that's meeting besides this group?
Just a get-acquainted group. Well, there are lots of activities here, classes. You might want to consider something like that.
These people are very friendly.
They aren't, huh? Well, you could try it, though, because sometimes when you take a class, you meet people. But if we just stay a closed group, then you're going to get to know these people better, and gradually what happens in most groups is people start feeling more comfortable talking and they get closer to each other. So I kind of think it's nice to have people that you really feel comfortable with rather than a whole bunch of people that you kind of say, hi, how are you, and don't know. So this might
That
end up
makes
working
sense.
well for you. But it sounds like the majority is much more comfortable with it being a closed group for this 8 weeks.
And you said in 8 weeks we could change if we wanted to, right?
Right.
So if we didn't like it, then
Yeah, we'll
We could
we'll
change
reevaluate at the end of 8 weeks and decide what will happen next. And you certainly can add more people or decide whatever you want to do.
Okay.
All right? Thank you for being willing to go along with the gang, Christy.
Thanks.
Are there other rules that any of you guys think might be helpful to make you feel more comfortable or safe in this group?
No put downs. Like when someone says something, then, don't say anything smart back or anything like that.
It sounds like you want this to be a group where you feel safe and you're not going to worry that somebody's going to be critical or put downs.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that happens. So let's say somebody's having kind of an off day and they make some sarcastic put down comment. What do you think how should we handle that?
remind them of the rule.
That sounds good to me.
But what happens if they do, we haven't come up with consequences or anything?
Well, that's what we're talking about now for this one, is if somebody did, by mistake, do some kind of a put down, what would we do? And Karen suggested reminding. If it continued, we might have to figure out something else, but if it didn't continue and we just reminded them and maybe said, gee, are you having a hard day, or what's going on that you're acting that way?
Yeah, if it happens repeatedly, we could have a group, discussion about it too. To
Okay.
see what the group wants to do.
All right, so the whole group could decide, what are we going to do? We've got somebody that is inviting us to feel uncomfortable, and we don't like that. How does that sound to you, Misha and Gina?
That sounds okay. It's good.
All right. Other group rules that you think of? No? Gina? Misha? Justine? Karen? Christy?
What about, go ahead.
Can we have anything to drink or eat?
Yes, we certainly can. There's several things we need to talk about. Anything else on rules?
What about not talking out of turn?
Say more about what you mean there.
So that everybody gets the time to talk and not one person talking all the time.
Okay.
How are we going to control that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I have an idea. Well, let's just see if this works. Christy, you seem to be very talkative. Would you be willing to help me if you notice that there's somebody who's kind of quiet and not talking? Would you be willing to be sure to ask them what they think about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And other people, if you notice that somebody's not talking and you think about it, ask them. So what are your ideas about whatever we're talking about? So it sounds like what you want in a group, Lynn, is that everybody has a chance to talk, right?
Yeah.
Not just one person.
But what if you don't want to talk?
That's your right. So maybe that's another rule that you can always pass. So if we're talking about something and you don't want to say anything, you can say, I pass.
Okay.
Does
Okay.
that sound
Yeah.
okay? Because we don't want to force you to do anything that you're not comfortable with. So that's another I pass rule. Is there anything else that we should include? So I'll make a copy of these and I'll bring it to the next group so you'll all have a copy of the rules, and we can change them or add to them at any time, but this is a really good beginning. All right, so what the flyer said was we'd meet at this time in the morning. We're not stuck with that. Does this time work for people?
Yeah, I don't work until the afternoon.
I work nights at Kmart, so I come in right after my shift.
The twins are in morning kindergarten, which works out perfect.
I work nights.
And the 4 boys already at school.
Yeah, and I work nights, so.
So this sounds like it's about as good a time as any, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll stay with this time, an hour, once a week, and we'll meet for 8 weeks and decide at the end of that. Now, nobody's required to continue coming for 8 weeks. I'd love to have you all come, but it's your choice as to whether you want to participate, and it'll be your choice what kind of group we invent this to be. We know it's us, and we know it's the rules, and we know that you're all moms. Actually, I'm a mom too. My kids are grown up, but so that's what we know about the group. But we can decide other pieces about how it'll go. Any questions at this point? Okay. So I think we've accomplished a lot already. This is good.